And I'm very grateful that you took the time to tune in to today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Listen, we have a great show lined up for you. I'm your host, Kim Jacobs, better known as the Balance Doctor. And all of our guests that come on, they're either people that have overcome some tremendous odds in their own lives as they balance this thing called life, or they're experts and they're here to share tips and strategies that will help you better balance and manage your life. Grab your virtual seats and let's get ready for some real relevant and relatable content on today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Everyone, welcome to today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. How are you, Ruth Kent?
I am blessed and highly favored, and I say that all the time.
I am blessed and highly favored because you are here in my presence, virtually a virtual hug.
Back at you, sister. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Now I know a whole lot about you because I've known you for many years and I count you to be, oh, hey, Mackenzie, you did get to come. Okay, good. Hey. Okay. So I know you to be a friend and someone that I've known for many years that I met through eWomen Network. So I'm super excited to have you and to give other people a chance to get to know Ruth Kent today.
You know, I have a question for you, Kim.
Okay. Wait. Since you have a question for me, I'm going to put you in the interviewer seat. I'm going to be over here in the guest. Okay, go.
Okay, I have a question. In that journey of knowing me, do you feel that within the last year, you've gotten to know me more?
Oh, I think I would say 100%. I mean, I've known you, but I know you now.
Yes.
And I think the reason that I feel like, let me literally, I'm you know how you're used to what you're used to? I'm used to being over there. So I think because you've opened up so much and you've shared some of the deeper parts of yourself that I just wasn't privy to before. And so
that's aligning.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, if there's a key that I have prayed about to bring about when we talk about balance, it's the power of now.
That's right.
It's the power of now. And I read a prayer, and you don't have to be religious, but understand this in the power of what it speaks. The only thing we really have is the moment.
That's right.
That's why all this breathing and, you know, oils and everything like this. And what has happened is that, yes, I evolved, but so did you. And we finally said, you know what? I think I know her, but I don't think I know her.
Right.
And I want to know her. And so wouldn't that be wonderful if we did that with ourselves?
Yes.
You know, how many people have the logic, the understanding, and you, bless you, even at that moment, you said, well, the reason for it, we go into the reasoning of it. And the best thing we can do is be open and willing to say, okay, that's what I know, but what can I discover?
What can I discover more about this person? And the only way I think you can even discover more about a person is by asking.
And that is the key. One of the keys that I say to people, you know, we as human, I mean, I remember my dad. My dad used to say all the time, Ruth, just think about it. And I got to tell you, Kim, that's one thing I do least of right now.
Oh, please, Ruth, that's a joke. Ruth thinks a lot. Well, that is not true. Okay.
But what I mean by that is that I work more from my heart.
Oh, okay.
Not my thinking, you know, my thinking is limited.
That I actually agree with that myself then. So now I guess I'm not much of a thinker either then because I definitely am more heart-centered.
Absolutely.
And things that my heart wants to do to connect with people, my thoughts may say, don't do that.
That's right.
But I still do it because I know in my heart it's the right thing to do. It's the right grace, the right consideration to give in certain circumstances.
Yes. I have a Ruthism.
Okay.
And I call it comfortable confidence.
Okay.
And
Somebody type that in the studio audience. Comfortable confidence.
yes,
Okay.
I mean, it feels good even when you say it, doesn't it?
Yes.
And when you can be in the comfortable confidence, not go, oh, I bet this, only this, and this, and but, you know, you're up here.
Right.
But when you're in comfortable confidence, you're in the presence of, number one, love and peace.
Yeah.
You're in the moment, and you're allowing to discover more. And comfortable confidence is when you are in that moment. And how many times have you said, you just said it, I don't know, but I know that I'm supposed to do this.
Right.
And there is no logic about it.
Hmm.
You know, many of the things that have been brought into my life are not, oh, I went out to find it, or I knew this is who I am and I was going to go get it.
That's right.
There's a book called The Power of Habit. And I like sharing nuggets from books.
Oh, I love it. I have thousands. I probably have over 1,000 books.
Look
I
at
can
that.
have some in storage. I'm like, I have to get all of my books in one big
Yes.
conglomerate room.
Oh,
So
I think you and I will be doing the same thing. I'll come help you. You help me.
yes.
But
So your book,
yes.
the Power of Habits.
And the nugget that I took from that book is something that was being told to me, but I aligned to the reading of it. You see, I believe that we align as we continue to evolve in our vibration. And it was open and willingness.
Mm.
So since January, I have woken up every morning and I go, oh my God, today's a new day. Oh my God, I am new today. Oh, I can't wait to discover what's new about me today.
Okay.
You know? And I did that because every day I talk to clients all over the world. I have created a program, Champion Your Truth. And the reason I did this is to give people a safe, consistent place to discover that voice within them, that cheerleader, not the negative negavator, you know,
Right.
and to trust, which is faith. Faith, the definition I think is so interesting, is complete trust in someone or something.
Mm.
And I thought I had faith, you know, growing up. But as we were speaking earlier, the faith to trust your heart and not think about it, not find the logic or the understanding. And I refer to this as the blackboard with the white dot.
Mm.
And this is all about balance, because the white dot is going to bring you balance. The blackboard is situations, circumstances, and conditions. We've all heard the phrase, keep thinking the same thing, and you know.
Oh yeah, it's insanity. You think the same thing over and over again and keep doing the same thing over and over again, you're going to get the same results. So you have to do something different, right?
And Shakespeare has a wonderful quote. He says, nothing's right or wrong. Thinking makes it so. To me, that's a prison.
Mm.
T. Harv Eker has a wonderful phrase. Nothing has meaning but the meaning we give it. Mm. And I look at this and I go, okay, I have done mentors, I have coaching, I have, you know, and the journey through my years of imbalanced health and then bankruptcy and then almost a divorce, I'm going, what has helped me? And this is where I got the analogy of the white dot and the blackboard. The white dot is, what is my opportunity? Mm-hmm. What's possible? And what's the solution? Good. Well, there was a day that we were having to move from our home, and I was in an empty room. And there were, except for a desk and the one stack of books I had in my hand. And all of a sudden there was a message that landed on my lap.
And what was it?
I'm looking around going, oh my gosh. And I have that message right above my head here. I look at it every day. And it said, Dear Ruth, start by doing what's necessary, then what's possible. And soon you find you've done the impossible.
Yes. I love that. Say that one more time.
Start by doing what's necessary, then what's possible, and soon you'll find you've done the impossible.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, and it was signed St. Francis of Assisi. My prayer that I asked to live into is the prayer of St. Francis. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace.
Yes.
Where there is sadness, let me bring hope. It's the work that I do. It's not me. It's coming forward in the intention of the individual I'm working with to bring that love, that miracle, and to believe the intention. The energy work helps to release so that, how can I say, we see clearer, we hear better, and the miracles that I have seen, I can't explain.
Wow. And once you know that you've seen these different miracles, there's nothing that can make you doubt what you have
It's
experienced.
impossible to
It's
doubt.
impossible to doubt it,
Yeah. And you know what was interesting is to get out of my stinking thinking, as Sandra Yancey would say.
And we love Sandra Yancey, by the way,
Yeah.
everybody. That's a mutual connecting tie between us. She is a CNN hero and founder of eWomen Network. If you're not familiar with eWomen Network, definitely visit eWomenNetwork.com and learn a lot more about this incredible.
And come join us in this amazing group.
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing. I lost my thought. What got us into getting out of the stinking thinking was this work. And what in the certification, it was crazy. It happened on an animal.
Wow.
And I went, dang, this stuff is good.
Yeah.
But I had to see it on an animal that doesn't have the freedom of will, the choice. I knew it was God's work. And, I talk to people of all ages. I talk to individuals of all situations. And it's amazing. And this is a prayer that I have every day, that everybody knows that there is a choice.
Right.
To believe in themselves and the power that lies within them, that gives them breath.
I agree.
Because I talk to teenagers, 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, and sometimes 40-year-olds,
right,
50-year-olds, that don't believe they have a choice.
And life is full of choices. That's every single day we get to choose how we're going to embrace that day. And we can't always make a decision that this is what's out of our circle of influence, but we can control how we respond and how we react to those different circumstances and situations.
And you just said it. You just said it. Choose not to react, but to respond.
Yes.
And to do that, I created a button and it says stop, pause, and pray.
Yes.
The important part, people think, is to pray. Well, yeah, that's pretty good. But it's the pause.
The pause. And
it's when you let go and be in the moment to receive, to connect, and to allow. Wow. But, you mentioned earlier, ask. It's interesting in working with people. They're so busy in the logic and the understanding and the, this is the way it is and all that.
Right.
I said, what are you asking for? To be right and wrong? To make others? And this is what brought me, because I prayed, what can I do to help bring a message to the world?
That's good.
And I'm in the midst of writing a book, and prayers are accepted.
Well, prayers are coming your way always.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yes. Well, there's many books. This happens to be a very good book. Reframe Your Blame, How to Be Personally Accountable.
I love that. Reframe your blame.
Yeah. I thought, what can I write that's not in this book? And I thought about personally accountable. I was taught to be personally accountable, but why did I feel so broken and so not good enough and not smart enough? And,
Right.
everything I do is a struggle. And that's the rest of the story that I want to share in my book.
That's
And
going to be a great book. When do you expect for it to get going here?
this year, I'm in the midst of it right now. And
Yeah.
I got shivers as I'm talking to you about it.
Mm.
But the name of the book is The Blame Epidemic. Imagine life without blame.
Oh. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the only request I have outside of me being able to get a signed autographed copy of it is that you
Oh,
come back on the Kim Jacobs show and definitely launch the book too. So
awesome. Awesome.
well,
I would love to.
welcome back. Let me,
Yes.
let me say this, that I welcome Ruth Kent. I did not formally introduce her, and I do because we got right into the heart of the matter, and you can hear Ruth's heart right on her sleeve because it's such a heart of love and compassion, and it pours through in everything that she does. But after 41 years as a career in ICU trauma nursing, her own chronic pain and trauma caught up with her, and she was having some challenges breathing. She felt scared and hopeless, but was committed to finding a solution. She's introduced a suite of energy work that not only led to her wellness, but the tools that helped her discover and break free of limiting lifelong thought patterns. So I am excited about having Ruth Kent here with us today. We're going to learn a lot more about her throughout today's broadcast. So buckle your seatbelts, share the broadcast, and let everyone you know be a part of today's discussion. Let's see, some of you that are visiting in right now, I want to pop that up. I see you, Vanita, and you said, good morning. Where's Vanita's comment? Good morning, beautiful ladies. You look beautiful in red. And we didn't even, she said to me, I guess we got the memo. I'm like, hello. Hello. And also, yes, comfortable and confident, or comfortable confidence. And you said that you like that. Listen, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And right after this break, we're going to come back and talk about how was it, first of all, going back into your backstory some. Talk to us about when you realized that your body was trying to overtake you. It was trying to get the best of you, but you then dominated and gained control. Right after this commercial break, we'll be right back. Thank you.
I'm attorney Charles Everidge. I started out representing insurance companies until my father was seriously injured at work. 4 of his fingers were amputated. Our family went through a lot, so I know what you're going through as an injured worker. If you've been hurt on the job, call me now. I'll fight to get the workers' comp benefits you may deserve. I'll fight for you like family. Put my experience to work for you. Call 704-457-5000, the first call for injured workers.
Well, we're back and we're talking with the lovely Ruth Kent. So Ruth, talk to us about some of your past and your body and what was happening that was trying to talk to you, really.
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
My past was definitely a wake-up call. And instead of going into repeatedly the victim, I decided to say, what is it that I don't know that I need to know? And my past, I can look back now and see the stacking. What caused this? Did I have that wisdom then? No. And what I mean by that is that at 45 years old, all of a sudden I was told, after going to that many, integrative as well as allopathic, I was an intensive care trauma nurse. I had the utilization of the best of the best.
Yeah.
And I went to acupuncture, chiropractor, energy zoning. I did nutrition. I did oils. I did everything. I went to a rheumatoid specialist, internal medicine, pulmonologist. I was on a research program.
So you tried every traditional path that was available.
Yes.
And none of it yielded an outcome.
People right away will say, well, she jumped around from one thing to another. No, I didn't. I knew to have results, you had to give time, repetition, and consistency. That's with anything. And so I would give things. And finally my neurologist, and at this time, I lived in chronic pain. I had a 5-year-old child in front of me that I couldn't play with. And I lived in chronic pain. I had respiratory problems, inhalers, steroids. Everything wasn't helping me. I was diagnosed with herniation, compression, degeneration of my back. I had lost the medial and the lateral nerve paths of my left leg.
Wow.
And the doctor looked at it and he said, surgery's not even an answer. And it was the strangest thing. I felt hope, not despair.
Interesting. So you actually had your own epiphany that
Yeah.
surgery is not an option. Then what is going to be the option?
That's it. And that's my white dot.
Okay.
What's my opportunity, possibilities, and solution? Okay. So looking at that, well, I tell people, if God tells you to move a green couch, go move the green couch.
Whatever.
And what I mean, yeah, what I
do
mean
it
by
already.
yeah, what I mean by that is that all of a sudden I'm at this party that took me everything under the sun to get there because of the pain. And you see, nothing was visible. Nothing was visible. And I sat at this table and this lady said, oh, I know what you need. And she introduced me to a company called Neekin. But her approach wasn't the proper way. She wanted me to do the business and not understand or meet me where I'm at. And that's a message that I hold every day. Meet the people where they're at.
That's right. Because nobody needs help unless it's help that the way that they need it. And until that happens, then they can't not get the help from you because you're determined to do it your way. And that defeats the entire purpose, you know?
Yeah. And when you meet that person where they're at, you see, I'm not in their shoes. It's impossible for me to completely understand. But where I'm meeting them is their heart of intention. Well, that's where I was meeting myself. What is it that I want? I don't want to continue life this way. I was open and willing to say, if this wasn't so, what do I need to know? And so after listening to her, I decided that, okay, there was something about this company I needed to know, just not her.
Right.
And so I went and found out. I got the Neekin technology, the concept that opened me up to this, energy tools was putting yourself in the right environment to boost your own innate healing. I thought, amen.
Right. So the transition from trauma nursing to energy, is that what it's called?
Yep.
Energy
Yep.
wellness. So when you did that transition, was it easy, or was it like just it's a given? This is how it's going to happen because it's a natural path.
It was easy, in a small sense, is that my mother always did natural things in the midst of antibiotics. I was sick all the time as a kid.
Okay.
And my mother would fry onions and put them on my chest.
That's interesting because I was wondering, did this stem from your childhood and so I'm glad you're bringing that point up. So your mom really was the motivating factor for you considering this.
Well, my mom and my dad, because what did they teach me? The white dot. The white dot. They gave me the gift to keep moving forward and to being my best and to not listen to the stinking thinking.
But you know what, Ruth? It's one thing for a parent to try to instill something in you. It's another thing for you personally as the child to witness the outcome of what they're saying will work. So having like onions and whatever some of the other home remedies that your mom did.
Oh, when I had an earache, my dad intuitively, all of a sudden, he smoked and he had a cigar and he blew the smoke in my ear. The pain went away.
No, first of all, I never heard that before until today.
Yeah.
he blew the smoke in your ear.
Yeah. And
it went away.
It went away. The pain went away.
Wow. Now I've heard of sweet oil. My grandma and my mom, they warm a cotton ball.
Oh, yeah.
They would put a little drop of this. You put the sweet oil in the microwave. Then they pour the hot sweet oil on the cotton ball and then drip it into your ear. And I'm serious. The pain went away.
I know and why are we so involved in looking for these things that have side effects? I'm not saying I'm against Western medicine. I am not. We need it. When I was, in an accident, I'm very grateful for it, but there's so much that we're not helping or owning in our own lives that we can do.
Yes. And I definitely agree with everything that you're saying personally. And my personal belief is what you're saying, trying other alternatives as well. Yes.
And so it became, an awareness that this isn't the answer. So what is? I went home after being told I was going to be put on disability. And he said to me, but you deserve it. And he did not mean it. You deserve it. No, he knows the journey. He knew what I had gone through for years. I had gone from doing 150-mile bike ride, half marathons, to chronic pain.
So he was saying it's time for you to just really just relish in the moment, like you talk about a moment. From a physician perspective, according to what you're saying, he was saying you really do deserve this. Take a break, enjoy your disability is what I think.
That's right.
Wow. Okay.
And so I got up and I walked out of the room and he said, "Where are you going?" I said, "To find a solution. I don't know." And I went and prayed. I don't remember anything about those 3 days, but I know that 3 days, I just knew that comfortable confidence that I speak into. Well, that's when I was invited to this party and I got to know the company Neekin, and I started feeling a little bit better. And through Neekin, I got to meet Dr. Bradley Nelson.
Okay.
Dr. Bradley Nelson gave us this self-help tool called the Emotion Code and Body Code.
I've heard of that. Yeah, actually, I'm tagging someone that I know talks about that. That's what I'm looking down because I was trying to tag her. She will be like, "Oh, you should have told me she was on," because this is incredible stuff you're sharing here.
It is really interesting because he became my doctor, Dr. Bradley Nelson, from March of 1997 to May of 1999.
Okay.
And so at first I thought that this was a tool for just health.
Okay.
Remember I mentioned that I went through bankruptcy and a possible divorce?
Yes, early on.
Yeah. So my husband and I knew that there was a seed of love there because he kept going to all these retreats. He kept going to counselors, but we were getting further and further apart.
You and your husband were getting further and further apart because it was just too much separation happening.
Well, we didn't know, but so all of a sudden I called Dr. Nelson and I said, "I'd like to give my husband an anniversary gift."
Okay.
And he says, "Why are you calling me?"
Wait, right there. We have to take a commercial break because what kind of gift could she possibly be giving her husband by calling her physician? And what does that have to do with the love of her life? Who's traveling to conferences, all of these things that's happening. Now she wants to contact her doctor to say, "I want to give him an anniversary gift." We'll be right back after this commercial break to find out what the gift was. We'll be right back.
Peace of mind with Silver Shield Security, which has been protecting my family and home, along with servicing the Carolinas for over a decade. Silver Shield Security knows the importance of convenience and safety. Whether you live in an apartment, a home, or run a business, they are here to protect you from unwanted intrusions and fires. Call now at 704-440-4688 or visit the website at www.silvershield-security.com. You can use my promo code #ToneX and get 1/2 off your installation price. Don't forget to ask about the new no money down options. Let Silver Shield Security help to give you peace of mind, just like me and my family, and keep your business safe.
All right, so we're talking with Ruth Kent, who is definitely taking us on a wonderful journey, learning about how she went from being a trauma nurse to an energy believing individual, and how she uses that to further be able to help heal her body. So what was the gift that you gave your husband?
Well, I said, I want to release any energy within me that is bringing disharmony and disconnection into my relationship. Now, people say, all the time, I make all these changes and they're not changing. Well, if you have two poles and you shift, you see the distance is shorter. Are you spending time on still working on yourself to even make it shorter, or are you focusing on them? Albert Einstein says, energy cannot be created or destroyed, but it can be changed from form to form.
Interesting.
And so are you in frustration, discontent, resentment, or are you in love? And so he worked, he did a session for me, and I was told not by Dr. Nelson, but by that intuition guide, God, to not say anything right away. Now, my husband had been very analytical, controlling individual.
Mm-hmm.
He also drank. And it was interesting because all of a sudden, 2 days later, he looked at me and he says, is there something different? Well, it brought me back to that dog when I was being certified. Like, if he sees it, oh my God.
Right.
And
you can't say, oh, the difference is you. You can't do
no,
that.
it wasn't him at all. It wasn't him at all. But it was in me, but he helped me to notice, okay, there's something here. Well, I wasn't to tell him anything about it yet. So
this is before he did his. Okay. I thought it was okay. So this is before he actually did his session. This is just that he noticed the difference in you.
Mm-hmm.
But you couldn't talk about it because you're like,
God said not to say anything yet.
That means it's going to work on you, given that you're already recognizing the change in me, is what you're saying.
Well, yeah. And then a month later, you see, if we listen not what we think is the right time, or I got the story, or what, I stayed neutral. I stayed working on myself and, being in love and sending love. Well, lo and behold.
Yes, Benita.
Lo and behold, all of a sudden, a month later, God says, oh, you can show him the session now. And he's sitting at my desk, I'm standing at my desk. And all of a sudden I said, well, I don't know where that is. I'm having this conversation with God. And I look down, it's smack dab in front of me. So I hand him the session, and normally he would have looked at it and go, yeah, so what's this all about? Snarky.
Right.
And, but Kim, honest to God, he was looking at it and looking at it and looking at it. And I stayed, don't you think a thing, just stay present, be in the power of now, be in love and gratitude. Help me, Lord, to be here. Ask for that help. And I'm just standing there and I'm saying, I'm doing everything to be in just the moment, You
don't reveal anything.
That's right. He hands me the paper back and he says to me, he goes, you really love me, don't you? I went, what in the world was on that paper I missed?
I'm like, that is not what I read, but okay.
Well, and that's what we're talking about, energy. Energy is not only in our thoughts, our words, our actions. It's in the words that we write. Energy is all over. Well, lo and behold, he decided that he wanted to start having this work also. Let me fast forward for you,
Okay.
because the last 2 years of our marriage, we renewed our vows.
Oh, congratulations.
Looked at me one day and he said, well, what do you think? And I just looked at him. He said, well, why are you looking at me that way? I said, because you haven't asked my opinion in 20 years.
Mm.
He also became the master of the drinking, not the drinking mastering him.
Mm.
He also became a master of his own responses, not the reactions.
Wow.
And that's, we, at every point, if you're reacting to something, take an inventory, take a calibration. What is it that you want? Is it wanting to be right or wrong? Is it to want to prove to somebody? Is it to wanting to be accepted? Well, you know what? Start with love.
Mm.
You know, I have a prayer that helps me to be in that place.
And what is that prayer?
Lord, help me to love me the way you love me and to bring this love forward.
Yeah.
And the other one is, Lord, help me to see it your way. I got to tell you, a whole lot of shifting will go on right at that moment.
You better believe it, because you're asking for it. You're opening yourself up to it. So,
and it goes back to the same things. Ask, but be open and willing.
yeah.
You know, we focus on, I have to let it go. I have to do that. You're focusing on what you want, what you're feeling you're needing to let go. You're not focusing on what you're going to receive.
What am I going to receive by finally breaking free of this particular baggage? Well, now, when you say energy, because I'm interested in knowing what you mean by energy. I don't study energy at all. And again, this is Kim, my own personal thing. I study the Word of God. And so I specifically,
which is energy.
I already know you can take that. Thank you. The views that are expressed are my own personal views and Ruth Kent's personal views. And so those are not necessarily reflective of that of the show. But so I'm big on whenever I hear people talk about energy, Ruth, what it sounds like to me is that it mirrors very much what is in the Word of God as far as the Bible. So I'm trying to determine, just from a learning perspective, I wonder, what are the differences? Because when I hear it termed energy, I'm like, that right there is the scripture of, the plans that he has for me is good and not evil. That means, trust, that right there meant trust in the Lord with all my heart and lean not into my own understanding. But Kim, just acknowledge me and I will direct your paths, girl. I'm ordering your steps.
I have gone before you, as he says.
And so I'm wondering, is it just like how people use the wording of certain things, or is it that they are so drastically different? And you all in the studio audience can share your thoughts too, because I don't know the answer. I'm just asking.
Well, let me help you a little bit. And I do it. I'm speaking now, and this is, I did not go with the intention that I need to be on stage.
Right.
Okay. And thanks to you, I was invited to a event where Les Brown was at, and loved seeing Les Brown. But there was a man that got on stage and he said, I'm not a speaker. And I went, okay, that was like a billboard in front of me. And I thought, my message is going to be received right now. Yeah. And he said, I'm a messenger. And so many people think energy is kind of woo-woo, kind of out there, kind of like,
Right. That's all I've ever heard it be from where, at least in I don't know about everybody in my culture, because I can't speak on everybody's behalf, but a lot of people that I personally know, that what you're saying is the case. So,
but let's keep it real simple. When somebody walks in the room and they've got a chip on their shoulder,
right?
Don't you feel it?
I 100%. I'm like, whoa,
yeah,
it's gonna be okay.
First of all, there's something every morning. I invite you and your listeners, say, shield up. And it's like the armor of God, which we read in the Bible about. Yes. But just say that simple thing and if you're in a group and you start getting into that stink, just say shield up.
Shield up. Yes. I need to put on the whole armor. Some of the stuff that I encounter, even with your close people that you genuinely love, It's like, oh, did I have the breastplate of righteousness, the sword? I need it all.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, take me back to the initial.
Oh, so the question that I was just asking is, and it
Energy.
really wasn't a question. You actually answered. It's just, what do you think are like some of the differences for those that are interested in learning more about energy?
Absolutely.
But they may only know what they know, which is the word. Like some people that I know that follow me or whatever know about the word of God, but may not always know about energy. So that's
Well, let me go back a little bit. And because energy can be some of the programming. You know, we hear the phrase thoughts create feelings, feelings create actions, action create. Well, guess what? There's actually a P before that. And it's rarely mentioned. It's programming.
Programming. Somebody typed that. I agree that
Yeah.
programming makes a big difference. How we are all programmed and what to think, what we believe is
Right.
important. Go ahead.
And so that will activate the ego, which is right or wrong. Well, if we're programmed here, but guess what?
Right.
Some of that programming, some of that energy is in our DNA. And you can sit on the couch and go through counseling until you're blue in the face. I'm telling you. But what is interesting, and this is why this work is so profound, is that it works with ancestrally inherited programming.
Okay.
Ancestrally related emotions. I got to tell you, I'm 88% German, and there's a lot of stuff that was passed on. One of them was anxiety and depression. I did the work, release. Well, now I'm going to be 72 this year. They can't.
First of all, take a break. You cannot just say, I'm going to be 72 and you look like you, and you think that that's something that people think is the case. Everybody knows that you are not turning those 70 nothing. You look amazing.
Well,
so you've done a lot of releasing in order for you to look that good.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
72?
And to have x-rays now, and they can't find anything wrong.
Oh my goodness.
My blood pressure, if it gets to 110, I start feeling it, you know. And my blood pressure, I'm on no medication. You see what I'm speaking into? But what else? I am owning my moment. I am a completely different person. I am not holding the identity that I'm not good enough, that I'm not smart enough, that when I was a child, I would go into a vagal response if I had to stand up and read. And now I'm speaking, an author, and work with people all day long.
Yes.
You see, go find and discover who you are.
Go find and discover who you are, everybody. This is good. Go ahead, Ruth.
Well, and so ancestrally, I didn't know. Holy crapola. But it was interesting. There was this constant, like I was working with energy, yet this whole stinking thinking, this paradigm, this belief, they were like constantly battling.
Right.
And I call that period of my time like a duck in water. I would appear calm on top, but the inside turmoil and caca, it was unreal. I never, ever believed I was good enough. And one of the paradigms, one of the ancestral things that was passed on is that anything I say is not important. Well, I was the youngest in the family. And you see, the mind will say, see, that happened because of that. That happened because of this. See, it always happens. Let me give you an example. I would be standing in a circle and I would say something. The person right next to me would say the same thing. And they'd go, oh my God, that's a great idea. And I'd go,
you're like, did I not just say that? Hello, what is wrong with you?
You see, this behavior condoned what the stinking thinking was owning. What I have heard from inspirational people, leaders, And there's a movie I watched just recently called Noble,
Okay.
Noble. I looked at that movie and I said, what was it? What was her white dot
Yes.
that helped her this tragic childhood and adulthood to turn it around and help over 700,000 children?
Right. And what was it for her?
Well, I actually am writing her, and I wrote her a personal letter because I said, I will come to Vietnam. I will volunteer. I will do anything to meet you because I want to hear it from her. Now,
Yeah.
I believe I know what it is.
Okay.
And it's owning the spirit within you.
I love it.
I have a little angel right at my desk, and it's a puzzle piece. Stop comparing. Stop judging yourself or calibrating to somebody else. Own the moment you're in and own who you are. Discover who you are.
That's what I'm saying. We're soul sisters in our own, because everything that you say in that regard, I believe it wholeheartedly. Taking ownership, embracing what God has for me, and making sure that I salt this earth, and making sure that I don't leave any stone unturned. The things that He trusts me with, pouring it out here and making a difference in somebody's life that I'm assigned to make a difference in their lives. So everything you're saying is so important.
And right away the mind will say, "Oh, that's easy for her." No. My umbrella, simple, effective self-help. And recently, my social media gal said something to me, and it has become a message that I want to share. And it's, maybe your path is harder because your calling is higher.
Oh, wow. Yes. Maybe your path is harder because
your calling
is higher.
higher.
How many of you believe that in the studio audience? That is so true. And I 100% believe that is so much more placed on me or on you or people that I know, because God expects more from us to be able to maybe help people to a different level. And I agree. I see you, Dr. Jody Bear, who I did tag, and she's on, and she said another home run show. And then also Paula Neal is on, and she said that is so true. And she said, hello, Paula Neal.
Wow.
And it's programming, Vanita said. Dr. Jody Bear is America's top health coach, and I'm definitely going to connect the two of you at the end of this broadcast. You two will love each other. But what I want you to talk about when we come back, Ruth, is how do people break these lifelong patterns?
Ooh, I loved that.
Okay, there are people that are just doing, you don't know what you don't know. That's the bottom line. You just don't know what you don't know.
That's it.
And you don't even know that you don't know it. So, and that's for all of us. So that's me, you, all of us. We don't know what we don't know, but maybe by you being here today, you can help us break that lifelong pattern that's causing us to be stuck. We'll be right back after this commercial break to hear Ruth Kent's answer.
Welcome to Confidence Tones, where we use a proprietary audio development formula called audio immersion to provide an experience that's designed to help quickly and effortlessly generate positive change in the subconscious mind when used correctly. This experience is achieved using 4 primary building blocks: brainwave modulation, invocation of positive emotions, immersive imagination stimuli, and developmental suggestion. We know of no other source in the world that provides the synergistic combination. With a good pair of headphones, you'll be able to immerse yourself into audio that's designed specifically to help you feel better, do better, and live better.
And if you want to learn more about Confidence Tones, you can visit Confidence Tones. Let me put that, confidencetones.com. But also, Dr. Jody Bear has so much information for you regarding Confidence Tones. You can visit drjody.com, or you can call her at 800-820-0584. Let her know that the Kim Jacobs Show sent you her way to get your access to confidence tones. All right, so tell us, Ruth, how people can break these lifelong patterns.
Well, I love what you said. We don't know what we don't know. Dr. Nelson has created this tool, and I have actually taught as young as 3.5, 4 years old to learn how that if they're feeling this tension, this reaction, this pattern, that you can release the energy. Okay. And there's YouTubes about it, but I'm offering also, if you go to Ruth Kent, LLC.com for a free 15-minute connection with me, because
that's huge, y'all. This woman is an international traveler and is speaking around the world. She's a premier success coach with eWomen Network. So she's in high demand. So for her to be giving 15 minutes to each of you that want a 15-minute gifted session with her, then definitely take advantage of it. Okay, go ahead.
And it's such a joy, because we're not going to know the things that are blocking us, the energy that is keeping this pattern, but this release in the energy, the intention. I believe Dr. The gal that has the reprogramming, and that you just, Dr.
Joe D. Bear. Yes.
Yeah, Joe D. Bear. Yes. That is like so true. But there's a phrase that T. Harv Eckert says: change the roots, change the fruit, change the invisible, change the visible. What we're doing is what the whole book, Power versus Force, it's elevating the internal vibration. Now, all that seems really strange, but we talked just a minute ago when somebody walks in the room and you feel anger, but when you get a hug, or you're in that shower, or all of a sudden you see the spring flowers, okay, this is owning that place within you. But to do that, you're getting rid of the energy. You're actually, as Albert Einstein says, changing the form of it, releasing that, and allowing love and gratitude to be your source.
I love that. I love what you're saying, because it's like you're saying it's the power of making a conscious
That's right.
decision that I am not going to allow this incident, this circumstance, to make me behave in a way that's out of character for who I'm created to be.
And when we say don't, not, and no, the subconscious is only hearing yes, you will, and yeah, it is going to happen. So remove that. And that's why using the emotion code, body code, it's a self-help tool, but people come to me to get the deeper, closets out. I call it the feng shui of emotional energy. Okay. Keep it simple. And I also have created a program, because remember I said what helped me over time, and I realized that people come for sessions, but they come back and they're in the same place. Right. Time, consistency, and repetition. I just completed my Champion Your Truth program. I will be starting up again April 16th and 17th. It's a 12-week program.
Okay.
One lady said to me, I got more out of this than I expected. And I said, what do you mean by that? She said, I knew I was going to get release, but she said, the word that would help me to say what I feel now is fulfillment.
Oh.
That's powerful.
So she was fulfilled by coming and taking your session.
Always lived in not good enough, or, she didn't celebrate her. And in the program, very quickly, there's something I invite people to go into training. We can do all this energy work, but what are we doing to embellish it and own it? Okay. There are two things that I also invite everybody to do. It's called the 4 gap.
Okay.
4 is forgiveness. Forgive yourself, ask for forgiveness, and forgive others. Be in that place of peace. Okay.
Forgive yourself, forgive
Forgive others,
others, and
and
ask
ask
for
forgiveness.
forgiveness.
And then G, the gap, G is for gratitude. What are you grateful for? Do this every night before you go to bed. A is for action. Now, that's not the to-do list. Action is, what is your intention? What is your intention?
You're popular over there.
Yeah, your intention is going to be tomorrow, as now and into tomorrow, I'm going to be open to his will. That's huge. Own it. The intention is huge. The P is, what are you proud of yourself for? Which out of that list, the one that is forgotten the most is to be proud of. If you're not celebrating who you are, by God, don't expect somebody else to validate and respect you.
Yeah.
You know?
I wrote that in a book that I wrote called Extreme Balance Makeover. And I talk about celebrating yourself, because it's hard. If nobody else celebrates you and then you don't celebrate you, then you're going to be at your wit's end with most situations in life. So cheer yourself on, pat yourself on the back when nobody else takes the time to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. And the last thing, and there's a book written about it. It's called The Power of the Subconscious Mind. And this is where we're working, by Joseph Murray. I am not working with the 1% ego or consciousness. Where I work as an intuitively guided energy worker is the subconscious files, to clear the baggage out so that you can be all you are to be. And that is, at every night after you've done the 4 gap, say, I am wealthy. I am abundant.
I am wealthy. I am abundant. Y'all take a moment for a second and say that right now, because sometimes when we're watching shows or we're hearing podcasts, we don't actually implement what's being said right at that moment. So lead us and say it again. What is it?
Well, actually say it 3 times, because the 3rd time is when your cellular feeling, it will make a change right there.
So you're saying, say whatever you're saying right now, say it 3 times, because then it goes into our inner man.
I am abundant.
I am abundant. And I'm going to say it 3 times. I am abundant. I am abundant. Kim, you are abundant. Kim, girl, you're abundant.
Yes.
I am abundant. Okay, what other thing? Say it again.
Okay. I am filled with joy.
I am filled with God's joy. I am filled with joy. I am filled with joy. And I know you all may not be on the screen, but type it in the comment section, because you said it out loud. Yeah. I am filled with joy.
Yeah. And I am love. Love is the greatest thing. We talk about Christianity. Well, what is it? It's love.
So I am love, or I am loved. Which one are you saying?
You want to own the love.
So I am love.
Because when you are love, you're going to align to it. You're going to be the magnet for it.
Oh, I am love.
Yes.
I am love. I am love.
Saying this, for the longest time, I did affirmations, and I dotted my I's and crossed my T's, and I literally spent over $250,000 on things. You see, nothing changed for me. I got better, but I kept going back to the same foundation. This work, in adjunct to what you're doing, helps you to change the invisible to change the visible. Yes. And so to feel that love in the moment, some people have a hard time. And I say, well, go into training. What makes you feel good?
Well, Lindsay said it. Lindsay said, I am love.
Awesome,
I
Lindsay.
am love. I am love. Thank you, Lindsay. You are love. Oh, wow.
And, some people have so many programs, so many things going on. And I said, well, let's go into training. And for me, I had to learn how to be my own best friend. And then I had to feel this. I thought, what I feel is like when I go into the shower in the morning and that feeling, oh my gosh, that feels so good. So I kept saying, I shower myself with love.
Oh, I'm going to do that when I'm in the shower. Kim, I am showering myself with love. Oh, that's going to be a better shower for me. I shower. Okay, this is some great stuff that you've shared with us. Great tips for us to be a better version of ourselves. Vanita said, I am abundant. I am abundant. I am abundant. I am joy. I am joy. I am joy. I am love. I am love. I am love. Vanita, great job. Yes.
You are champions, honey.
You are a champion. Let me see. What was any other final? Let's see. I want to make sure. How important is it for people to even deal with some of their physical challenges? Because I know you talked about all of the physical challenges you dealt with and even being a trauma nurse. But if you can answer that quickly too, I really don't want to get off without answering that.
Well, I can tell you that every cancer cell has an emotion to it.
Okay.
And just recently, I was gifted to talk to a holistic oncologist group and all of her clients.
Mm.
They all said, absolutely, this is amazing work. I worked with a woman that was diagnosed with cancer. Now, I am not the healer. I'll tell you straight out.
Right.
Your intention in this work to help clean out the garbage. This woman was going in last Wednesday for second surgery, and her path report came back clean and clear. Thank you, Lord.
Oh,
you know,
thank you, Father.
I don't say, oh, I did a good job. No, hell no. I say, thank you, Lord, for bringing this miracle. And I have seen, like I said, miracle after miracle. So when it comes to health, but it goes back to that phrase, how we do anything is how we do everything. God will give you a pain in your ass because you haven't released or worked with something. Know that there's tools here. Know that you can be free. And the other, it went away. But just don't give up. Don't give up. And it doesn't have to be a struggle. Reach out. Maybe this isn't for you, but you know what? I have years of experience. I don't have a bunch of graduating degrees, but you know what I have? I have people's heart. I have been working with people my whole life. And I believe in each of you. And Kim, I want to thank you. You're an inspiration. I'm so grateful, and I'll get choked up because I truly love being the friend and the sister with you in this world. You are amazing.
You are too. And I'm definitely going to, even though I'm sure I have other sessions stored up, I'm definitely going to take my complimentary 15-minute session because I'm excited to hear how to just get some stuff up off of me even more. So I'm excited.
And that's why I do the 15-minute because.
Thank you, Paula Neal. I see your comment.
I taught this for 5 years around the world. And to try to explain it, the best way is to experience it.
Yeah. And I asked you backstage when I was praying, because I pray in my Lord and Savior's name, but then I ask you too, whoever name you pray in, and we pray in the same name,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, it's interesting. There's one man from Colorado. He said, I have to tell you something. He says, I was atheist. And I said, okay. And he says, then I became agnostic. I said, oh, okay.
Yes.
He says, he said, now I think you got me thinking there's somebody up there.
And you know what? The beautiful part is there is no condemnation for me. I'm nobody's judge or juror. All I am is hanging my soul on what I believe. And I honor whoever you choose to hang your soul and your belief on. Then we all have to work out our own soul salvation. And that's what we need to do in life. But we should also encourage others on this journey to be able to know that it's something much bigger than any of us, we need to be able to have some level of accountability to higher power than just thinking it's just all me. Not hardly, not over here. In this body is not.
Thank you, Connie. I look forward to meeting you.
Corinne says, Corinne, that's Corinne Brown. From eWomen Network. She said, Ruth, I'll be scheduling my session.
Yes, and Tupperware Plus. Here we go.
Yes, she is the Tupperware Fresh expert. So if you all do not currently follow Corinne Brown, make sure you go check out the Fresh Expert. She goes live as well, and she is a force to be reckoned with. All right, listen, how do they stay connected? You know what? I got to play one more quick. No, we're over the time already, so we're going to be done. So let's let people know how they can stay connected with you.
Well, go to Ruth Kent, ruthkentllc.com. That's my email, but also just go to the website that you'll see different opportunities, appointments, but one of them says connect with Ruth. And I'd love looking forward to connecting with you. Let me know if you want phone, in person, or Zoom, because I love seeing you and getting to know, but also at that moment in time, we're already holding each other in the belief to see it.
This has been an incredible time that we've spent with you, Ruth Kent, and you are such a bright light to this world. So I'm really honored that you took the time to be a part of today's episode. Listen, everybody, tomorrow we're going to have a person that's graduating from the program of How to Start Your Own Show from Scratch. And I cannot wait to introduce her to you as Pastor Keisha Parrish. We're going to be having a great time watching her graduate as she prepares to launch her new show this week. And if you're interested in starting your own show, you can go to KimJacobsConsulting.com, and I'll put that in the comment section for you all as well. If you want to start a show from scratch and you need to know all the ins and outs of it, visit KimJacobsConsulting.com and let me work with you one-on-one for 1 hour per week. For 6 weeks, we're going to deep dive into it. You'll own your own content at the end of it all. So I am so honored that Ruth Kent has been here with us today. And many people, I saw some people pour into the broadcast as well over the last few days. And just want to thank you for contributing and donating to the Kim Jacobs Show. We are every weekday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're here bringing you valuable guests like Ruth Kent. And you are welcome to contribute to the program. It helps us with our production and keeping balance to this world, one household at a time. And that's what we're striving to do. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Ruth.
Thank you.
See you all tomorrow. Oh, thank you in the studio audience. Thank you for being valued.
Blessings
part of the Kim Jacobs Show. Let's see. Somebody said they're scheduled. That's Corinne. I really enjoyed this episode. Bye, ladies. Have a wonderful, blessed day. Vanita say, hey, Vanita. All right, everybody. See you tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show and for being in the virtual studio audience. Your presence truly does make a difference, and I look forward to you bringing your friends and family to join you in the virtual studio audience Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I look forward to seeing you and make it a great day.